Well, I didn't think I had to do this tonight, but I guess they had to find a replacement match because earlier we discussed that Matt Morgan versus Scott Steiner for some reason will not be able to happen on the pay-per-view. I don't know why, but I can have a feeling that Scott Steiner had something to do with it due to his. If you see his promos, it's hard to explain the mental and physical mindset of Scott Steiner. So probably just take your guess and you'll figure out why. And I guess they had to have a replacement match for that one match. And it is Robbie E versus Brian Kendrick. We haven't seen Robbie E or Brian Kendrick in a pay-per-view match in a long time. If you're not counting the lockdown cage match, this is like one-on-one, so we haven't seen them in that kind of match before. And they'll probably be the opener match, or I should say opening match, but opener, whatever, same thing. They'll either be the opening match or probably the match after that. The X Division, though, I mean, back in the day, the X Division was awesome. It still is to a degree, depending on what you're looking at. But back then, they had all this talent in X Division. And X Division was, it wasn't about weight limits, it was about no limits. And that's what I liked about it. So it wasn't just like a fucking light heavyweight or cruiserweight belt. It was, hell, even Samoa Joe held, and he was like a heavyweight, so you could go anywhere with that. And I don't know, it's just nowadays that they don't have that many big guys in it. They had Douglas Williams in there, but it was only maybe 200 something pounds, a little heavier than most of the guys in there. I would wonder, if it makes you wonder if you could have someone like Abyss in the X Division, or you could have someone like Joe in the X Division again, or you could have I don't know, maybe even some of the new guys like Crimson, work their way up. That'd be a belt to start them off with. But regardless, it's still kind of in the 225 and a little bit above range. It's not a cruiserweight belt, like I said before. It's just hard to explain for people that are not familiar with the X Division. Anyway, these are two top stars, and maybe this win will get them that X Division title shot, or that whatever the fuck the red belt is now. It's it went from Legends to global to TV title, and I don't know if that's gonna be on the line tonight. It doesn't look like it from on the card here. It doesn't say that it would. It might be possible at a last-minute match, but back on track here. We have Robbie E, the fist-pumping Jersey Shore Guido thing. I don't even know what you can call him. It's you can call him a Zack Ryder ripoff if you want. I don't care. That's what he is to me. But I like the Shore gimmick because it makes fun of the Jersey Shore. And Lord knows everyone knows I hate the Jersey Shore. And don't even ask why. I don't want to go on a rant on that as well. But excuse me. But this is going to be a good match overall. But if I had to pick a winner, Kendrick. I would say Kendrick has had a win in a while, but neither of these men have had a win in a while. But the odds would have to go with Robbie E, because of course he has Cookie at ringside. But then again, Brian Kendrick's mental state, anything's possible. The unpredictable side of Brian Kendrick is what I like, so I'm going to have to go with Brian Kendrick. But, if Robbie E wins, it will mostly because of Cookie being at ringside or a distraction or something. Robbie E cannot really win cleanly, in my opinion. That's what I've seen from him in the past, I don't know, maybe the past few months. I don't want to say a year because he kind of came at close to the end of the year for TNA. And I guess we can't call it TNA predictions anymore, or whatever we're calling them, because after this pay-per-view, it will now be Impact Wrestling. And that's, again, we talked about that before, but I just wanted to alliterate that a little bit. What does this mean for the titles? It makes you think of all these questions. What's going to happen to the titles? Will they be renamed, for example, the Impact World title or something like that, or the Impact title, or the Impact Knockout title, or the fucking, I don't know, Impact X Division? It sounds weird when you say stuff like that, because Impact, it's a long-ass name if you think about it. Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Title. Makes no fucking sense, right? Or Impact Wrestling Tag Team Titles, that kind of makes sense. Impact Wrestling X Division, kind of pushing it. X Division television title, or sorry, Impact Wrestling X Division title, Impact Wrestling television title. I meant, possible X Division. Why don't you say X Division? Maybe that's what happens if you try to say Impact Wrestling a few times and you mix it up with the X Division. But regardless, botches happen. This is live shit right here. But regardless, the point is, Impact Wrestling, I don't know if it's a good name, but I like the concept. Wrestling matters. It's about damn time, because really, some company had to do it for once. Even if TNA's been on a shitty level as of late for the past few years, but at least they know. They didn't go back to their roots. TNA back in the day was a wrestling show. There were barely any promos, and they were good promos to begin with. They're not just like thrown there. It's like, oh hey, there's an interview with the reaction crew that got fired. Doesn't have a job now, so they have to do Impact. So it's like, hey, what are you gonna do? And they have a promo with Sharkboy on the fly backstage. When they could have done that for Reaction, but Reaction somehow got canceled. It's all confusing, I know, but it's stupid. If the WWE took this initiative, they would have been more successful, in my opinion. Because the WWE, of course, they won't go out there and like, oh, this shit's fake. Of course we know it's scripted, because injuries do happen, and those injuries are real, and the moves are choreographed. They're not only choreographed, but they're practiced on both the superstar that's doing the move, the superstar that is taking the move. And that's just a bunch of wrestling secrets people hear. It's like, to the Cena mark, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about, kid? Oh my god! Oh my god! And by the way, with this, what the fuck, Cena? You take this and you steal it from the Triple Threat from ECW's for their premier stables with the franchise Shane Douglas, and Lord knows there was a bunch of reincarnations of this, but the best one people remember was like the franchise, Bam Bam Bigelow, and Chris Candido. Both of those guys rest their souls. But really, Cena, you steal this from ECW. I know it's dead. I know WWE killed it. But really, and I'm surprised it took me that long to realize it, because I haven't watched old ECW things in a while. And then I started watching it, and I'm like, wait. And then I look at some idiot wearing the shirt, and I'm like, wait. You think of stuff like that, and it's like, what the fuck? But really, I don't know how that became to a one-match thing where it's going to be 3 minutes to, I don't know, just a random rant, but still, the concept overall, Impact Wrestling, is okay. If a different federation said it, like WWE did it, they probably make it better. But we'll see what happens. I mean, this is a new concept, and I guess TNA, that's why they have a new belt, but they like to make another new one, because if they want to change the name to Impact Wrestling, they might as well change all the belts like I was talking about earlier. They might want to change all the belt names. Or at least, so it doesn't say TNA anymore, because, I mean, of course you own TNA. You have TNA for the past 10 years, but you don't want to have Impact Wrestling have a main event for the TNA attending title or the TNA World title. You want to make it the Impact Wrestling heavyweight title. As long as that name is, someone has to draw the line, because if you think about it, if you just call it the Impact Wrestling Championship, like I said before, it would be the IWC, otherwise known as the Internet Wrestling Community. And Lord knows we want that too, because everyone will be a fucking IWC champion, for fuck's sake. Oh my god. But, hopefully they can turn this around. They can have this momentum for this. Have momentum for the future. And tonight might be the first step in that right direction. Impact Wrestling, TNA, I don't care what it's called anymore. We'll see what happens. We might see a fucking Impact Wrestling Down for Glory or something. I don't know. And I love how they haven't changed the name of the website yet. When you go to like say TNAWrestling.com, it's still TNA Wrestling. It's not Impact Wrestling. So for people that was trying to figure that out, and if you do type that, by the way, for people that was trying to figure that out, if you do type say ImpactWrestling.com, it will just take you back to the TNA thing, and it will refigure it to say TNAWrestling.com. That's something they need to work on if they're going to rename the brand. I know it takes some time, but that's some suggestions, some thoughts, and hell, there's one match that we had got through there in a maybe 10-minute span. And the good thing with instead of doing it on an iPhone and doing it on here on the webcam, again, you have that 15-minute time limit, or whatever it is now. It's probably 20, 30 minutes, I don't even remember now. And plus, if you're a YouTube partner, and or if you get recorded stuff, you can play as long as you want, to a certain degree. But, you know, it's kind of stupid with the way YouTube does this and the way TNA is doing this. Just a bunch of random fucked up stuff in the world. You know, sometimes we gotta do it one day at a time. But regardless of all that I just fucking said, Impact Wrestling Sacrifice, or TNA Sacrifice, whatever it's called now, tonight, in a few hours. So hopefully, you know, you watch it, it'll be good. Peace.